world is the matrix. Everything is fiction in the world. You have the world of politics, you have the world of religion, you have the world of finances, the world, there are wars, and there's all these fictitious creations, and they do affect the living men and women on earth, because people are led to believe. They are led to believe that these things affect them, right? We need to learn how to distinguish between what is real and what is fiction. So, any ID, what is an ID? An identity. An identity is something that does not exist on Earth. It's a fictitious creation. You know, you identify yourself as I don't know, a girl or a warrior or a butterfly. You can identify yourself as a dragon, you know, as a whatever. Your imagination is infinite. We are beings with infinite imagination, unlimited creativity, and high potential for anything that we want to create, because we are creators by divine right. And so the thing is that whoever controls the minds of others controls everything. All we need to do is to stop allowing ourselves, our minds, to be controlled by others, by concepts, by whatever. I mean, there's people that believe in communism, others believe in socialism, others believe in fascism. You know, these are fictitious creations, and they are beliefs. Yeah? We don't have to believe in anything. Well, all we need to do is to put our feet on the ground, take off the shoes, right? Because it helps a lot to ground ourselves and be real. Real in the full sense of the word. Be real within your heart, within yourself. Be truthful to yourself. Be truthful to everybody else, and be genuine. You know, everything else that comes through concepts, ideas, ideologies, they are not particularly necessary for existence. We don't need ideologies to live, but we do need food, we do need water, we need shelter, we need a life with dignity, because we are the creators of our reality and we deserve the best of the best. So never settle for dá-lhe uma cabeça de peixe que é para ele. Sorry about that. My doggy is asking for some food. Anyway, we once you ground yourself and you realize, no, wait a minute, I am standing on earth, on this land. I'm not in a country. You know, because a country is a fictitious creation someone else created. You know, England, Wales, Ireland, Scotland, it doesn't exist. They do not exist on earth. Portugal, Algarve, Madeira, Açores, you know, they don't exist. We give these places names, you know, in order for us to identify, okay, well, where are you from? Oh, well, I'm from the UK. Well, what is the UK? The United Kingdom. Kingdom of what? Of whom? Is there a king? A self-appointed, somebody? No, I am.
It will be, man.
Sorry?
It will be a king soon. A king of his own underpants.
Yeah. A king, you know, or a kingdom, which is the dominion of the king. You know, but who is the king? Is no more than you and I. Is a living man. and the queen is a living woman. Was,
No,
so
you are all messed up, man. She's dead. That one is dead.
well,
No,
yeah,
no
okay,
longer.
yeah. Anyway, they say she was a lizard. Anyway, there's no such thing as a united kingdom. I mean, they call these places, like, I lived in South Africa for a few years, and they used to be, the Union of South Africa, and then the British came and they fucked up everything. They created the Anglo-Boer War, and they just put South Africa into the Commonwealth, and so it's part of the whole kingdom. It's all fiction. It's all fiction created by the Vatican. The Triple Crown, where there's Vatican City, there's London City, which is not part of the UK. London City is outside of the UK. People need to know that. And then there's Washington, D.C. These are the three states, independent states, that do not respond to any other country. What is a country? That is important to know. Is a place where the slaves are counted. And how they used to do. Well, not only in Portugal, but everywhere in Europe, we had slavery, in the past, but not only in Europe, everywhere in Africa, in the East,
Still
everywhere there
have
was slavery.
slavery. We still have.
We still have slavery, yeah.
Yeah.
And what did they used to do? The Irish people were the most punished people in the slave trade, because a lot of people don't know this, but it was cheaper to capture an Irishman than to go and capture an African, because the Irish slaves, or the white slaves as they were called, were way much cheaper than an African slave, right? And so they would capture the people, wherever they would go, a bunch of guys with weapons, and they pull, take the people, men, women, and children, and they go and sell them to work for others, right? So
Pirates.
when
Pirates. That's what they were. Pirates.
exactly,
Yeah.
corsários, as we say in Portuguese, and in English, what do you call them? Privateers. These privateers were the pirates, right? And so they were hired by the kings and the queens, to go and steal and rob and do whatever they want to do, right? But besides the point, when the ship, what do you call it, reaches the port, can't remember the berth, when the ship berths, right? They offload the slaves. So the slaves are berthed, and there's a manifest, there's a registry, and in order for them, because a lot of these slaves wouldn't make it, they would die along the way, because I mean, they would take weeks or months inside those horrible dungeons inside the ships, with food that was not nutritious, and they would get sick, and many of them wouldn't make it. So when the ship bursts, um, um, they make the manifest, and they need to count how many slaves are still alive. So they get out of the ship, and they get led into the in Portuguese we call it the Casa do Conto, which is the house of the counting, right? Which is a place with high walls. We still have here in Lagos, which was one of the most important places for the slave trade in Europe. Where the slaves were led into this Casa do Conto and they were counted. How many have we got? So that is the country. The country is the counting of the citizens that come from the ship, the citizenship, right? So they use these fictitious um, entities, like a citizen is a fictitious entity. It does not exist on Earth. A citizen is a creation by somebody, and people believe, oh, I am a citizen of the world. Some people say very proudly, and oh, are you really? you know, we are not citizens. We are living men and women. And then through the registry of birth, they create a fictitious entity which they call the person, which means persona, persono, where the sound comes out of, which is the mask. It's a mask. It's something that is. It looks like a man, but it's not, or a woman. Yeah. When I say man, normally I include both men and womb men, a man with a womb. And so they started counting, attributing a number, and then from that legal person, they create the citizen, which is some another fictitious creation, which is used for commerce. And a citizen is a commercial entity. So they start because this is it has to do with finances. It has to do with the banking system. It has to do with the BIS, the Bureau, or what do you call it? The Bank of International Settlements, and that's how they count the heads. How they actually generate the capital. Capita means head. For the countries, each country is a place where they count the heads. Just like they do with the sheep. Like we just had some duckies, and we have to count them every day. The first day there were 13, but now there are only 11. We have no idea what happened to the other two. So now we're counting them every day, or all the time we see them. Let's see how many are there. Probably one of the cats must have eaten two of them. I don't know. But yeah, that's when they treat us like cattle. But the thing is, they are tired of treating us like cattle. So they want to treat us like uh, machines, like digitalize everything. So they don't have the work. It's too much work for them to count us as sheep, right? So now they want the machines to do the work for them. That's why they want to digitize everything, and so they're creating these systems of control. That's all it is. But we, the barons, the free men and women, we don't need to allow ourselves to be counted, right? So we don't need to allow our minds to be controlled by their fictions and by their systems, because we are creators of systems. And sometimes we realize, oh, wait a minute, this system is not working anymore. So we are destroyers of systems. We have to destroy what is obsolete or what doesn't serve us anymore. And we can recreate something else, something new, because we are creators. They are nothing, absolutely nothing. When we say they, who are they? These people that never worked one day in their lives, they don't know what is to have calluses in their hands. They never had their nails dirty from working on the garden or whatever, doing things. They don't know how to do anything whatsoever, because we do everything. And so we are creators. We use our imagination, our true value. The first manifestation of value is your imagination. We need to use it. Imagination, creativity, the time we dedicate to do the things we love doing, and the capacity of doing the things that we like to do. If you're not doing what you like to do, you're wasting your time in this life. We should be doing whatever we love to do, because we are creators. We do things. But before we do, we need to be. We don't need to become, and we need to be only. That's it. Be and realize who you truly are. Are you a citizen? No. I am not. I have a statute of citizenship that was created for me, but I wasn't even aware of what that meant. So there is no express consent. So it's fraudulent from the beginning. And everything that is fraudulent is null and void. So statutes of citizenship, personhood, whatever they create, it's all null and void. We don't need um, to bother trying to follow. Oh, you have to follow the law. Which law? There is no law, because they create all these ideologies, and they try to force us to follow the ideologies that were not created by us, but they were created by somebody else. We don't have to follow anything. We need to be you know, ourselves and know who we are, where we stand, who are these corporate entities. Courts are corporate entities, persons are corporate entities. We, as living men and women, we are not corporations. We are not, corpus means body. Corpse is a dead body, right? But a corporation is a non-living entity. It's created by fiction, by a system of registry, somewhere written on a piece of paper in a two-dimensional world. But in a three-dimensional world, it does not exist. It People believe that they have to go and work for this company so that they can earn a living and earn a salary, but they forget that they are already alive. They don't need to earn it. We don't need to earn it, a living. We are already alive. Now, the whole concept of money is, like David Ward explains it perfectly. It's non-existent, because all money in circulation on the planet is based on debt. So if it's based on debt, is below zero, and if it's below zero, it's non-existent. It does not exist. So people wake up every morning to go and do things. So what does exist? The labor and the work that people do exists. So we do things. We make the wine. We make the coffee. We we make the food. We make the dishes. We make the cars we travel with. We make everything. The houses, the roads. We make things. We are creators. So that exists. Um, and then there's the belief. People believe that, okay, I'm going to do something because I need to earn a salary. So they go and do things in exchange for some fictitious form of value that we can actually exchange for things that we cannot do, because we can't do everything. But so the world keeps on turning on this illusion that we have to earn a living, and that we have to earn money, and that we have to, but it's all fiction. So I don't know. I think we're coming to the end of this paradigm. Sooner or later, the banks are collapsing, politics are collapsing. The illusion that they're trying to sell us about this digital, artificial intelligence, the craziest thing ever. They even deify this thing they call artificial intelligence. We need to be aware that artificial intelligence can make calculations very fast. Okay, That's fine. But artificial intelligence can never feel friendship. It can never feel gratitude. It can never feel love. Artificial intelligence is limited. We are multidimensional beings. We are on this plane of existence at this time of now, but this is only a temporary visit to this place. Okay, let's see what's happening, and all these crazy things happening around us. We don't need to get sucked by anything, by ideologies. We need to put our
Okay,
feet on the
Leoco.
ground.
Leoco, let's see if it's still breathing, man. You just bombarded
Ah,
him with loads and loads of info, and it's his first time in the
oh,
channel.
really? Okay. All right. Okay.
No worries at all. I think we're all on the same page. Don't worry about me.
Yeah,
I
you're
think,
good.
yeah, no, I'm fine. Don't worry. I've heard worse. Keep going if you like. I don't listen to the radio anymore, so have a way. It's all good.
Are you
Okay,
still breathing?
anything you want to share with us, your visions and
No,
anything else?
I absolutely agree with everything that you're saying, and um, I'm not being combative. It's coming from just a different idea. And what I'm thinking about is, if we're free to discuss whatever we want, this idea of this digital identification they're putting in. I know what you're saying, that the digital, none of it is real because we live in an analog world, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But if enough people start to consent to this, to their paradigm shift, and also I don't know if banks are collapsing, they might just be consolidating.
I think
But
they are consolidating too. Yeah.
yeah, we don't know. It might be a bit of both. They might, whatever, it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, if they say, right, you've got a geo-fenced car that's linked to your digital ID, and you post some funny meme, on your government social media, and then your hamburger rights get revoked, bear with me here, I'm just working off on the fly. Then you are tied into this digital straw man thing, and I can see that's what they're trying to do, because so many of us have caught on to exactly what you're saying, the whole fraud of this system. And it just relies on everybody being A, ignorant, and B, consenting. Um, and it amazes me. It fucking amazes me.
Yeah.
Okay. We
It,
had a
it
moment of silence, so we could take it in. Go ahead, Leoco.
no, it amazes me too. Um, what amazes me is the inability of the majority of people to think and question. You know,
That was what I was going to say. Yeah, that's what.
yeah. So I don't know. I think the majority of people are helpless. I don't know. I can't speak for anybody else but myself. Yeah. But I don't know. What the future will bring. I think we can create our reality. But well, even today, someone posted a video of not only this. I'm sure you heard about this. The line, this mega city built on the
Yeah,
desert.
yeah,
Yeah, and then they want to do another one, which is a cube somewhere. I don't know where. And then now there's another one in the States. They have this project of a mega city that will harbor 5 million people, where they have everything, like in 5 minutes or 10 minutes distance. And the guy was asking, well, does this sound familiar? And then he puts his hand up and he goes like, so yeah, it does sound familiar. It's the Hunger Games. So now, um, I mean, they would have to drag me by force to put me in one of those, and I'll fight it. I mean, I'd rather die, and I'll die trying not to be part of this dystopia, because it is a dystopia, right? And I don't know. The people might even think that's the future and that is evolution, and it's not. I mean, at least I don't see it as evolution. I see it as retrocess, because I think what we call civilization is actually barbarian. It's not civilization. I mean, look at what's happening in the major cities. There's massive poverty and people living in conditions that are not even, they're really degrading. They are not basic conditions as our grandparents used to have. They used to live in the countryside, in the mountains or wherever it is. But every house had a water well, had an oven for the bread, had a chicken coop, a pigsty, and your horse, your donkey, and they were practically self-sufficient, right? We might call this, like primitive, but I don't see this technological advancement as evolution at all, at least not in the sense of what we may call humanity. It's the opposite. There's no humanity in these concentration camps that we call cities, or the mega cities. Like in Los Angeles and these, like Mexico City or São Paulo in Brazil. The criminality, the conditions that some of the people live in, and even in South Africa, I lived in Johannesburg, and you have all these millions. Actually, the whole city of Johannesburg has about 10 million people. That's the same approximately amount of people that live in Portugal, the whole country, in one city. And right, and so what happens? The Europeans came to Africa, and they created a whole concept. Oh, there's money, and you can have this, and you can have a car and a TV and this and that. And so the youngsters, they lived in the rural areas. They come to the city to work and to make money, but not everybody. I mean, they don't have the basic education that is necessary to get a job in the city. So many of them, they come from rural areas. They end up sleeping under the bridge or in conditions that are way below human decency. And so you have millions of people in extreme poverty, while they probably have land and cattle and family back home, but they can't go back home because they don't even have money to live day by day. So it's totally the contrary to human evolution. I don't know if you guys have watched the movie called La Belle Verte, or the beautiful, the green beautiful. That for me is highly developed civilization. These people lived without anything, just from nature. They didn't need houses or cars, nothing. And, they spend the whole time developing their souls and connecting with one another and enjoying life. And that's it. That
Yeah,
is
I
true.
think we are getting to that stage at this point in time, and again, it's nothing new under the sun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have this idea that if we are here now, it's because at some point we made a choice, either to be the divergence that we are, And because we are the ones who are acknowledging all this and seeing that the system that exists is not functioning anymore. And I think that we also have the burden of creating the new one. So I think that what they are, what they, when I say they, it's the puppet masters that are behind all of this shit show. They know that we are really powerful because we are creators. And that's why this insanity is coming out more and more and more, you know, because they want us to create the world that they want to exist. Because at like a few years back, it was easy, you know, we wouldn't be in contact with each other, so everybody was just relying or like going to the pub or the hairdressers or anything to have a talk and have different perspectives, you know. And now you have a thing on your hands, yeah, and you can connect with anyone anywhere in you know, and you can like expand your perspectives as well, and that will make you create different choices. So I think that these puppet masters, they know that we are onto them because we discovered, because I think that they were thinking like this happened in a time where if you go back and you start reading things that happened in the past 1800s 1900s, you will find that there is a pattern, a repetition, you know, and they thought that this would be the same that happened before. But I think that we were somehow ignited with another level of our DNA that just poof. And when I say us, it's the people that are really seeing things as they are. Because the ones that are fast asleep still, they are not real. They are NPCs. They are part of the program. So we cannot influence the collective in a sense, because we have to first acknowledge how powerful we are in our own reality, create our own reality, and then that reality will affect the collective. But until then, it's us individually that needs to start making the changes. Because if we don't do that, yes, probably we will experience the collective that others wanted to create. So yeah, here you have it. But I don't think, honestly, I don't think it will get to there. They will try it like they've been trying, but it won't go. It won't go because I think there is too many of us awake. Even I have contact with people that took the amazing thinging, and even them after the second one, they woke up. So sometimes people need like they are at different levels, and maybe they needed to go through that experience for them to wake up in a sense. And now that they are waking up, they are really in a stage that I was back in beginning of 2020. Yeah. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
What a time to be alive.
Yes. Indeed. What the fuck did we choose?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, you know, because we cannot count, you know, I don't believe in the what they call the critical mass and you know, because all mass is unconscious. So there's no such thing as critical mass. We need to do it ourselves individually, you know, because only the in the individual there is consciousness. There is no such thing called collective consciousness. You know, there's only there's only the consciousness of an individual. Okay, now we are how many? 8 here in this chat, right? So each one of us, there's is a unique being. It doesn't matter where you were born. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with your being, right? And so
Sparkle.
you,
With your sparkle.
your consciousness. Isso é vidro, tem outro maior lá ao fundo. And so, yeah, so the consciousness within yourself is what really matters. And this consciousness is what can actually change, well, I wouldn't say the world, but the reality around you. And we can also influence the people around us, right? So this consciousness needs to become more, let's say, pragmatic in our doing, because we can only manifest through our deeds. And a lot of what we've been seeing in this past few years is there's a lot of people talking about a lot of things, but actually not doing much, because people are in their minds and they don't have the fire in their hearts, the passion. And that is what is necessary for you to start doing something. You need to have passion. And so you once you feel that fire in your heart, you start moving. And once you start moving, there's a whole movement that generates from the core, which is the heart. In Portuguese we say coração, the core. In French is core, the heart is the center, because that's where the fire actually is, in your center. Like in the pyramid, Pyrrhos Midos. In the center, the fire in the middle. Pyrrhos is fire, Midos is middle. Pyramid is the fire at the center. So in our body, we have the fire at the center, in the heart. And that's why the wise men on the past, they always taught us how to use that fire in the heart, to follow the heart, because that's what actually guides us. So, yeah.
Even in that movie, The Wizard of Oz, the lion, what he was after was the courage, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in that movie you have the whole explanation of the whole thing. Yeah, because it's the heart, it's the brain, the mind, right? The tin man, the straw man, and the lion. Yeah, everything that's in code, but that's the yellow brick road, which is the gold, right?
True, true. Okay, anyone wants to ask anything? Hello, guys. Hello, Mia. Hello, Patricia. Hello, Monica. Hello, Rui. How are you all today? Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate a lot your greetings of silence. They are well received.
Sorry,
We
guys.
are we
Sorry.
are already asleep.
I was hearing on the computer, but now I passed to the mobile because I'm laying down on the sofa.
Okay, so we have to congratulate you, isn't it? Congratulations.
I don't know yet. They didn't read it.
What? Did you send your first step of the lean?
Yes.
Okay, so you are in congratulations.
Okay.
Yeah, you did it. You went and you did it. You took action. Tell
So
us, how did it feel? How did you feel?
powerful.
I know.
Like I
It's
was saying with the meme, I was I couldn't wait anymore.
I know,
I
I
need
know.
to
You
do
were.
this.
You kept saying, can I send it now? Can I
Can
send
I?
it now?
Yeah.
Hang on a minute, woman.
Yes. Yeah, I want to do it the fastest I could do it. I said, no, I want to send it right away.
Yeah,
And
now you
start it.
open the Pandora box. Get ready.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's it. Either you have it or you don't.
That's the same that you are talking about. When we get the consciousness about what we are, and we change, right? We really change our actions, everything.
Yeah, there is no going back. Once you understand and you make
Yeah.
that decision that you are a woman and off, you know, anyone telling you otherwise, please provide me with the fucking material evidence. I don't want to go through more loops and hoops of belief and faith and what have you. No, if you have a claim to make, please provide me the material evidence of that claim. That's it, done. That's why we call this the end. There is
Yeah.
no arguing, there is no argument. No. You make a claim, you have to provide the material evidence of that claim. Oh yeah, I'm the fucking president of that country. Yes, okay, so let's see where is the material evidence of that. You know? It's easy. Super duper easy.
If you were moving to a new property, would you register for council tax or just ignore the letters?
No. That's the thing, yeah. So they make us believe that we have to tell them anything, but we don't. So if I move to another property, I tell shit to no one. Yeah, because what they will do is they will send letters to the occupier or to the householder. Who the fuck is that? Good luck taking that one to the court.
So I've just had my water company sending me dear occupier letters.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I was actually just, casually ignoring them. And they
Yeah.
have
That's a
they've
good
got
thing. When you have letters coming to your door saying the occupier or the householder, it means that they don't know shit, and they are
but
fishing.
they've got
Those
my
are fishing letters.
they've bought my name from somewhere. They've got it from somewhere now. They've either taken it from, I don't know, which
No,
I'm
they're
sure.
from where?
I've no idea, but I've suddenly received
No,
letters in my name.
they're still fishing. They are still fishing. I can tell you that because I dealt with electric and gas last year, and now I have another company fishing. Let them fish.
Explain.
So I dealt with electricity and gas, yeah? I asked them to provide the material evidence of their claims. And after the lien process, which is 6 weeks, there was, well, after the third letter, there was nothing, so they automatically they go for securitized lien, yeah. And then on the fifth correspondence that we send, we tell them that they are in default, and after that we create the lien. So I did that for the period of 6 weeks. They just send me two nonsense emails, which I replied again. You have all this in the file section under the house of Federico. Yeah, that's that. So after that, they called a couple of times, and I told them. They said, "Oh, is Miss? Am I speaking with Miss Carla Federico?" And I told them, "Can you please enter the password?" And they were like, "Excuse me?" And I'm like, "Do you have any permission to call to this number?" And they were like, is this Miss Carla Federico? Can you please enter the passcode, please?" So basically, you just have fun with the fuckers. That's all. And they hang up the phone. Yeah. And no one. Well, why do you come to this stage? Is because you understand that you have no obligation to even reply to anyone. You know.
There have been some people around here that have been because they had the whole thing with the prepayment meters, didn't they? Which they kind of it's been blocked legally, and then apparently it's back on again, whatever. But apparently, I have seen some videos. Not apparently, I have seen some videos of people being cut off in the street, dug up and cut off in the street. And someone I know who said that's happened a few times near them. I'm not saying this to be difficult or be spread,
No.
rumor.
I know where you're coming from, because again,
They've gone about it the wrong way, then, haven't they?
yeah. That's the thing. When you create a tort, that's when they can go and apply for the shady business that they do. Yeah, like tampering with their equipment, or normally they use that one, the tampering, yada yada. So then they can apply their enforcement tactics, which is terrorism. Yeah. But that only gets to that point, and I can only speak from my own first-hand knowledge. Yeah, I did everything by the book, let's say, and nothing of that happened to me. The only thing that happened was a bailiff that came knock on my door. But you also have the video in the channel, so it lasted 2 minutes and 40 seconds. You just ran away from me. And yeah, pretty much that's it. And you have other barons here as well that did the did liens, and when you do things right, yeah, and you know who you are, and you come from a position of, I don't want an argument. This is not an argument. You are making claims, so you have to provide the material evidence of those claims. It's that simple. They say you owe, or there is a debt. Yeah, well, provide me the material evidence that you supplied anything to this address. So it's like cutting the root, and not just like I've seen other people. They have other methods, yeah, and they go on about with other situations, like not replying or sending the letters back, or even arguing with those people, and we don't do any of that. Because we are not arguing. We know the facts, and the facts don't change just because some of them have their own opinions. If it's a fact, and you come to me and you say that you provide me with electricity, so please go ahead and show me the evidence that you provide me with electricity or with gas, whatever. But before I came to this, I went through a research to understand what electricity is, how is what is it that these brokers are charging. I called National Grid. I called to them, asking them to please tell me, where do you get the electricity from? So I did all of this, so it's not just, okay, here I go. You have to do your own due diligence, and then you are empowered by that due diligence.
Did you swap meters?
Sorry?
Did you swap meters?
No, never. Mm-mm. No. No, nothing.
It's not
I
paying
think the problem is that people are changing the meters. Yes, there is a loophole in there, and you can clearly read it and see that even the when I spoke with the National Grid, they said that yeah, you can have your own meters fitted in. Yeah. But the thing is that you are again letting them know that you are swapping the meters, and they are criminals, and they are not going to. Yeah.
Okay, I know this is counter to what the things you're talking about, but did the National Grid say you could pay them directly if you wanted to?
Oh, no. They say they are not. They don't receive any payment. No, they are not a billing company. Yeah. Because I said that to them. I said I wanted to, if there is anything to pay, I wanted to pay them because I want to cut the middleman. And they said that they are not a billing company.
Yeah, I've seen that thing as well.
Yeah. Which is funny, because how the hell did we get to this stage? Because we never asked any questions. We just accept things because others say, oh yeah, it is like this. So that's why I always say to people, do not do anything without you going and do your own research. Don't do things that I do because I do it, because I search, I ask questions, I read, and I have everything I can present as material evidence. If you have the same method, yeah, how do you say that word? Being methodic, methodology, exactly. If you have that, and yes, then go ahead, because you will find your own through your own research and through going through your own questions. Yeah, you will find your own power doing that. And you are not following nothing. You are just, it's a knowing. It comes from within,
Cool. Thank you. I'm going to jump off. Can I join your chat or just ask questions in the channel?
Yeah, you can ask questions. You can join. There is a channel just for questions. If you go into the channel, it has a linked channel called Div3rgent Chats. Yeah, you can pop in there if you have any questions, or if you want us to pull some reading for you to have.
Cool. No, that's me, by the way, as well.
Sorry?
I've joined. That's me that's joined. It's a different name.
Yeah.
Thanks for the conversation. Have a nice evening, everybody.
You're very welcome. See ya.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Anyone else? Questions? Q&A. Q&A. Who has Q&A? Hello, Florbellas. How is you?
Hello.
You just pop in and you don't say a word. What's wrong with you?
I don't like to interrupt.
Oh, I see Baron Manouche is in the house as well. What is wrong with you people? You just come into my house and you don't say
because
hello.
The door is open. We just walk in.
There is a Restore Freedom. How are you?
Hello, everybody. Good night.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, you're there. How are you? Do you have any questions?
No, I don't know what is the thematic.
Oh,
I just
any question?
came
Just
here
any
1 minute
questions in
ago.
general. Yeah?
No,
Okay.
not for now.
Okay. So stick along
Thank you.
and probably something will come.
Okay.
Who is the Roo, Ben? We have a Roo and a Ben. Is it the Ben Stone? Okay. We can't hear you, Ben. Ben Stone, we can't hear you. Yeah, that's it. Manoj. Manoj. Nothing is permanent. It's not quite right. There are some inks that are permanent and some dyes for your hair that are permanent. And there is also tattoos, which are permanent. So, yes, that's that. What about, do you have any questions?
Also, some affidavits are permanent.
Oh, yeah, that's the good one. Yeah.
I think that's the
So,
only one.
I think that's the only
Because
one too.
because tattoos you can have them removed.
Yeah, but it still
and
stays a mark.
oh, but they're no longer there.
Okay, fair point. Yeah.
Yeah. And your hair dye also can wash off eventually. Your hair grows and
You can cut it. Okay, fair point. Yeah.
yeah. So I think out of that, only the affidavit is permanent, which is a
All right.
beautiful thing.
So,
Yes.
so what do you guys say about that guy? What was his name? The one that Mia sent the affidavit.
Which one?
The guy with the long hair with the in that channel. Can't remember his name. About the law, the English law, and
Oh
blah
my
blah blah.
God, that guy
That
is a
guy.
moron.
David Higgs you're talking about. Sorry, I'm not doing it. Excuse me, I'm not being rude. I'm so hungry, I'm eating.
Ah,
You are excused. Just
Yeah,
this time.
the Canadian guy, he's listen, there's many roads and they're going down the whole Sestakay trust thing and trying to get land. I mean,
Equity. They're going through equity.
no.
His all talk was about equity.
Yeah, but yes, I know. But what he's trying to explain is, I've listened to one or two of his. I mean, it's way above my head because you have to study the legislation, and I'm just not interested. It's gobbledygook to me. But yeah, I can see the point that they're coming from. Because we're not supposed to be tenants on this land. We know this. But it's the way that these guys are going and, going into the private and all that kind of thing. You're talking about years and years of study. I looked at it a long, long time ago and I can't do it because I think my intelligence level is not good enough. And I'm just not someone who can read legislation because to me, it's all bullshit. To me, this is all something that somebody decided and made up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, whether you want to believe it or not, I think that there is a path using what they're using, and literally, you have to give up everything and go into the private. But if you get there, and I don't know of anybody that has, and I think the thing is, if anybody has, they don't speak about it. There isn't anything else to pay because we know we can't pay anything. So yeah, that's my take on what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, I think that if they are going into their place of business, I mean, it's their BS, So you can't expect them to go and be favoring you, Even if you have, I mean, I've seen it. It happened with Alphonse. He went into that court. I think it was last week or the week before, or whatever. He went, and it was nothing. In my mind, was already expecting that. Even if you write the best litigation possible, yeah, it's them.
Yeah, and I think what often happens is that someone will find the door, and what happens then is they'll let one or two through, and then they'll close the loophole. So they just keep moving the goalposts the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an endless rabbit hole, and it's very, very energy draining.
Yeah.
It's like I say, it's something that I did try to study years ago, and I can't do it. I don't know how they do it, but yeah, I think their brains work differently.
I think that the more they keep putting the trusts and moving those things into a trust and everything, it's like you said, they are going to move the post to another marker. It could work. I know that guy. I don't know if you know that guy. The House of Marcos.
Yeah.
He has everything in. He transferred everything into the private. Yeah. And the thing that they are not saying anything, it's because before you join, you have to sign an NDA.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that's why nothing comes out. But even those guys, I think that it will get to a point where even that, because there are loopholes in the trust. I've read equity and private equity and trust and all of that BS, and it's their creation. They will allow it until they see that is favorable to them. But if they see that it's not favorable to them, they won't allow it. It's simple as that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, this is what I've always said. To me, it's already a loaded dice. Because the people are, we call them the elites. We shouldn't really, but I mean, these higher level people, they're taught all this from birth. They have a totally different education system to the one that we plebs get. So this is all second nature to them. But one thing that was I was curious about, because this David Higgs and others, obviously the ones in England and the Commonwealth countries, they're basing this on English law. So my question is, what about those? Because it has to be equal for everyone, I'm sure. What about those in like Portugal, where it's a civil law system? There has to be an equivalent. But what the hell is it?
Well, when I was looking into the Portuguese side of it, there is nothing about trust law in Portugal. What they are marking it is with the what they call it, the European, or they are marking it.
There is. You see, there are certain principles of in the civil code that are part of what we could call the customary law or the common law. One of them, well, is the habeas corpus, for example. That is a common law principle that was created with the Magna Carta in 1215. Then there is the like the common law marriage. You know, in Portuguese we call it união de facto.
Yeah.
And also the uso
Yeah, but
capião.
those are where I was saying those are based on international law, not Portuguese law.
No. Uh, well, I wouldn't say.
You have no jurisdiction in the Portuguese courts, yeah, to deal with such matters.
No,
If you go to
you
the
do.
hierarchy, no, you
Like
don't. You don't. They express it. I've read those things.
no, you do. For example, we traveled into that little village where that you guys saw the other day.
Yeah.
You know, there are some houses there that abandoned, right? And so one of them, there was a municipality sign, and it was saying, "Oh, well, this is a notice to the owners. So if you don't respond within this time, the municipality are going to take over
Oh
because
yeah, yeah.
the
Oh yeah, yeah.
house is
Yeah, I'm
going
not
to
talking about that. I'm not talking
use."
about that. I'm not. What
Um,
I was referring to was what Mia was saying. The equivalent of the common law in Portugal, wasn't it, Mia?
well, you're talking about something that is institutionalized. Are you
Uh,
talking
yeah, yeah, yeah.
common
Imagine
law?
if you have an issue, yeah, and you want to take it to through the common law, yeah. Where do you go?
You create your own court.
Uh,
You create a common law court because common law has nothing to do with an institution, in my understanding. Common law is something that
no,
is common to the people
but here,
that have interest.
no. Here in the UK, the common law it's inside of it's part. You can find the common law in parts of the written law, and
Yeah, because you use
depending of the court. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think it's only the Queen's Bench that deals with that type of matters.
they use precedent. Whatever has been uh, uh, written before through a precedent. So
In
they
Portugal?
don't. No, in the UK and well, the common law countries like in South Africa was the same. Um, so the precedent is what creates the jurisdiction, right? And so the precedent is a situation that has happened because you cannot. Well, in the civil law, they create the rules and that are written, right? Um, and you try to probably well, they have been written because there was a situation that happened that was within those things. So I actually don't know the difference, the main difference between civil law and common law, because everything is based on situations that have happened in the past. And so if there's a new situation that had never happened before, the judges will go through what has happened in the past or through what is written on the paper. Because the judge, he actually in civil law countries, they 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 don't even look at the man or the woman that's standing in front. You know, they look at the paper basically, maybe not literally, but figuratively. They have their head down, and they can only make a judgment based on what is written. And so in common law is basically the same thing. It is written because there was a precedent, there was a situation that happened before. So the judges will look at that case that opened the precedent, and so they make a judgment based on that. Now, well, like for example, the uso capião, it is written, it is inside the civil code, but it is a common law principle, which in my grandfather's time, there was no such thing as a public registry. People just occupied the land and they cultivate and use the land, right? So when the republic was established, they created these civil registry. And so they went and they registered, okay, this is our land, they make the markings and so on. And so because from before that time, it is, if I read on the papers, it says the land was acquired by uso capião. The uso capião is you occupy a piece of land and you establish a good relationships with the neighbors. And if no one complains for the period of about 15 years, then you can actually register that land or property in your name. So that is just a principle of common law that is part of the civil code, which has been included in the civil code. So common law, in my opinion, is what is commonly agreed by the people. So like Hannah von Reitz speaks about that, you can create your common law courts and you can decide amongst the community, okay, there's someone that has done something wrong to somebody else. How are we going to find the best way to repair? So I don't think we their courts, all of them, whether this guy was talking about the basic courts, like I mean they are commercial entities, but even the higher courts, they are not less commercial than the smaller courts. So I think the constitutional court is a company which has been registered under the republic, is the constitution of the republic. So that is
I
a
think
written
that
paper.
I think you get it wrong, because what I was trying to say was that imagine if you create a trust like those people are doing. Yeah, they are creating a trust. Yeah, and if there is something like, let's say there is a dispute, yeah, they will have to take it to a different court because it has to deal with jurisdiction. And administrative courts, which is the courts that you have today, they cannot deal with that type of situation. So my question was, in Portugal, you have none of that. Because in terms of the hierarchy of the courts in Portugal, you have the constitutional court. Well, first you have the international law, yeah? Then you have the constitutional. But you can't access those. It's not for you to access. And if you go and read that, it states there, those courts are not for men and women to access. It's only for them. Do you understand? So these people that are doing the trusts and putting everything on trust and yada yada yada, they are focusing that if something happens, I'm just speaking. I have no certainty of this, yeah, but I think that they are thinking that if something happens, they have those type of courts to go to litigate the matter, yeah.
It's chancery, isn't it? It's only chancery that deal with trust matters.
Yeah. So they are still inside of the system in a way. Yeah, because they are looking for them to go and solve their situations. Do you know what I mean? Did you understand now, Loki?
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I'm not sure exactly. And what about, Michael of Bernicia and the
Uh-huh.
UCT?
Yeah.
Okay, he's saying that he's creating a new financial system based on the commercial liens, the common law commercial liens
Yeah.
that they have been doing. What do
Yeah.
you think of that?
He created the lean coin.
Yeah, something like that.
That guy is a wanker.
You think so?
No, I don't. I don't think so. I know he is a wanker.
Really?
What the fuck? What the fuck? You are taking my liens, my creation from me, and in exchange, you are going to give me tokens.
I think the guy's a gatekeeper, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, you got
I
it
Really?
that right. Yeah,
Yeah, he's a
totally,
gatekeeper.
totally. What is it with taking my liens from me? You know, why are you taking my liens in exchange, giving me a token? Really? I know the worth of my work. I know I have a securitized instrument in my hands, and I'm going to give a securitized instrument to you for what? In exchange of a token, a lien token? No, 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 no. Thank you, but I will wait for the time I have to wait until I know that what I have in my hands, it's the most powerful document ever created by man. So, no, I won't take that.
Okay.
One of his,
Are you
one of
close to Mazerside?
what?
Whatever. Are you close to Mazerside? What do you call it? Mazerside, yeah. Little
Merseyside.
Maybe.
Liverpool, Merseyside.
Oh
Merseyside.
no, no, no.
No,
Which is a
but there's
long
I'm
way
a girl. I'm
side.
very posh. I'm a girl of the South.
okay. I don't know if Mia
Oh, see, I'm
knew
down the
my
city
friend.
roads. What?
Well, I don't know if Mia got to know my friend from South Africa, Alan Madden.
No.
He was already doing commercial liens and affidavits and all that way back in time, and he moved to Mazerside.
Oh, right.
Well, actually, I met him when Michael Tellinger started, making these protests against the banks. When was that? 2010 or something like that. You guys don't, you haven't come across a guy called Alan Madden.
No.
Okay.
I looked into that thing of the Tellinger, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, it fucked up by the time that he needs to put the counties into the equation. Why
Yeah,
would
because
you? Yeah,
yeah.
you lost me there. I was interesting because what he came the creation that he came up with was quite interesting. But then I was just like, oh my God,
But
come on, man.
he's still using the system to
The
validate whatever he's
system,
doing,
yeah, to
which is
validate.
for me. Yeah, he goes to the police station to validate that
Yeah.
promissory note and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So there's still it's like, I mean, when we were doing the power of attorney, and some of us talked about the having the notary recognize the signature, right? You're
Oh
still
yeah.
using their system to make your document or make your art or whatever you're doing valid, and that is
Yeah.
not the point, right?
Yeah. No.
So what I
Exactly.
see with all of these is that they all try to go against the system within the system, and the affidavit is outside completely. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
They've already agreed. You have no obligation. You have nothing. You never consented. Period. You don't try to use their stuff. You don't use their stuff to validate yours. At
Yeah,
least that's how I see it. Yeah. And you don't use their things either. Whatever they have, you don't use it because that's within their system.
yeah, exactly. Because every notary, at least here in Portugal,
And
falls under the
Milko, think, man.
yeah,
Most of them, they say that our liens are trash, yeah? But
yeah,
then you have the other half trying to get your liens in exchange of a token. So make up your minds, man. Either they are worthless, or what is the worth of it? A token? So probably could be more than that, isn't it? Because again, it's us giving the power to that document. So I will continue to beat the drum that I know my creation, and my creation, maybe we are ahead of our time. Every time we create a lien, we are creating a ripple in this fraudulent system, you know?
yeah.
So it's the power of the document. I don't care.
And don't forget, Carla, at the end of the day, if you don't use your liens, you can always hang them on your wall.
Oh, you better believe it. I will hang them all in my wall.
I'm gonna get a nice frame, and I am
Yeah.
gonna frame them all
Yeah.
and put them on a wall. It's gonna be called the lien wall.
And you know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? Everyone that comes to my house, I make them read the fucking wall. Go and read how many criminals I hang in my wall.
Go and read the wall.
Go and read the wall.
Like that idea. I think when I have a new house, I'm gonna have a wall just for my liens.
Yeah.
Yeah, put them in a nice frame and just hang them all.
Yeah.
Oh,
True.
what's the song? It's Hello Darkness, my old friend. Something about the writing on the wall.
There doesn't even seem to be any consensus of opinion or ways of working within the Confederation either, because well, yeah, Flo knows, you probably don't, Carla, but Georges Molière was the one who was saying about, what are they good for, hanging them on your wall. But then João Georges had just uploaded another 2 to Arte. So, he's obviously, yeah, he's just done another 2.
That's because he was missing some spots on his wall, so he wants to fill them up,
Nicely
Come on, guys, get with the game. Wake up.
Nicely said.
We all there's a time that you move furniture around, and then you have bald spots, and you've got to do that.
Yeah.
It is what
it is. Well, but if João Malheiro said that they are, what did he say? They are not good for anything?
No, they're only good to hang on the wall.
Okay, how many did he do?
Well, I don't know. You should ask him that.
Ask him.
He hasn't done any liens. He said
maybe he doesn't have.
That's why he's missing something in his wall. He should be doing some. He should be doing some to put on his wall. Maybe he has very blunt walls. He needs to start creating some.
Oh no,
that cracks me up.
Oh God, you're kidding. It's the best.
Yeah.
In any case, it is what it is, and we all know how much they are worth. And at the end of the day,
if it's all faith and belief,
you need to know.
If it's all faith and belief, you better watch out, because my liens are fucking loaded of my faith and my belief that they are fucking powerful. If I'm wrong, please
My
provide
leads
me
are
with an
powerful
affidavit to
too.
prove me wrong. If you can't provide me with an affidavit, it's just your opinion, and your opinion is like farts in the wind.
Is there a song like that? Farts in the wind?
The farts in the wind.
No, it's
The
not. It's not
farts in
farts
the
in the wind, but
wind.
it's something in the wind. What's that song?
Hello.
Okay. Does anybody know
Adele.
what song I'm talking about?
No,
Something in the wind.
let's say hoorah to Adele.
Nice.
Adele is in the house.
Hello, Adele.
Hi, all right. How's everybody doing? Hi, Carla.
What? We've
Hi,
missed you.
Bella.
When are you coming to visit, Adele?
Sorry, I can't hardly hear you. One at a time. One at a time. Sorry. Hi, Flabella. Hi, Carla. How are you doing?
Sing for us, Adele.
What do you want me to sing? Mustang Sally.
Yes.
Guess
Yes,
about to
Adele.
slow and Mustang down. No, we're not doing that.
Adele
Hey!
from 007. That's
007. Oh, God. Which one?
Skyfall. I love that song. Sing that one.
Oh, God. Shut up. How is everybody anyway? All right.
Yeah.
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. Took a bit of time out. But I'm back-ish. How's Carla? How are you?
I am very good because my mouth is full of food now.
I could hear that. I won't ask what you got mouth. I won't ask you what your mouth's full of.
No, it's food. It's food. Your dirty minds.
I know, ain't it?
You are all dirty minds.
Get your mind out of the gutter, Adele. No.
I've just been listening, you know, I'm just coming back, so I've just been listening to, because I just come on late, so
You've been very busy. I can see your leans. It's one after the other.
Oh, are you Adele, are you redecorating your house as well? Are you hanging your leans
absolutely.
on the
I was
wall?
listening to it and I thought, do you know what? Yeah. Framed the stamp and everything, Rishi Sunak and you know, a lot of them. That's what I'm going to do. Put them in frames and stick them all over the wall, to be honest. Do you know what I mean?
There you go.
You got to have your crest on it. Well, not your crest, your seal. And that's, you know, it's for you then, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Nobody else. It's just for you.
Okay. Is there any questions? Who's in the house? Manuel, Otto, Joaquin. Oh, Diogo. Diogo, now it's your time to practice your English, man.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
I will pass this time, guys.
Yeah, this
I'm
channel
not
is
in the
another
mood.
level.
It's that's timid to me just to listen. I know very little comparing to you. Please continue.
Yeah, this
Debating.
channel is another level. Has nothing to do
Yeah.
with archaics. Yeah.
I still live with my parents. That type of questions I like to hear more to, but I'm not. I don't have much knowledge on the matter.
Okay, don't worry about it. Who's next? Otto.
Carla, can I just ask? When I just come in earlier, is it Luca? Was on about common law and within his country. Was that Portugal or is that another country that he was talking about with the common law?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're talking
well,
about Portugal.
I am in
Okay.
Portugal. Yeah, and well, not to say that common law is, let's say, invalid within their system. It's just that it's underneath a whole lot of codes and statutes that they've put on top of it. Um, well, I don't know when civil law was actually established here, actually, to tell you the truth. But this whole thing is, um, this republic itself is a fiction. You know, it was implemented through a coup, that followed after an assassination, a double assassination of
Yeah.
the king and the son, right? And so the in those times, that was 1908. So until then, before the implantation of the republic, you know, people actually could basically do whatever they wanted. There was no um, there was no enforcement, or you know, like cops lurking around every corner. That didn't exist. There was the royal guard, but they were only to protect the royal family. That was it, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Otherwise, the Queen Mary II, she created what was called, or what was known as the civil government. And the civil governments in 2011 were closed down by the Republic, you know, and these buildings, they are massive buildings with huge boardrooms and offices and all that, and they're just simply abandoned. Every major town has a civil government, or the building itself, because the civil government was closed down. And what was the civil government? There was a civil governor, which was a representative of the king. And basically, you would travel throughout the province, you know, to check out, okay, these people, what are they doing? Okay, they're fishing, they're farming, they're producing olive oil or wine or whatever it is. And obviously, the king all wanted was a portion of whatever was being produced, right? Of the
Exactly. And this
yeah,
is basically not just Portugal. This is all over the world, you know, and
yeah,
it's always been in every land, all over the world. You know, that everybody has always, you know, thought that they could become a company or a republic or whatever it is, a republic or whatever. You know, they're still claiming something, you know, which
yeah,
it would be like you claiming something over me, you know. So
yeah.
um, this is just because we've been indoctrinated to believe
Yeah,
this.
exactly. Exactly. But
Um,
they come with the most ridiculous things, because now, I mean, not now, it's already a couple of years, they want the people that have chickens that lay eggs to declare how many chickens they have. You know? This is ridiculous, because the majority of the people who have chickens, they're never going to go and declare the chickens that lay eggs, you know, because obviously that is not profitable for the companies that produce eggs, and it's not good for their business. So yeah, they want to know who has and who hasn't. You know, one of these days they want to know, you know, how much toilet paper
the
you
ins and
use
outs
or
of
whatever.
not a duck's arsehole, but the ins and outs of a hen's and everybody else's arsehole. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but it goes back to everything else. It goes back to the fact that, you know, we all know
they
what
are
we know
thieves.
now.
They, it
Yes.
goes to the
Yeah.
fact that they are thieves. That's it.
Look,
Yeah, but it also goes back.
they passed that bill on 2012 after the chicken flu,
Oh,
the bill on the
Yeah.
really?
chicken. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's 10 years old and they are now pushing it.
yeah.
So
Well,
they
that
think in
can.
advance.
I just
Well, it is, isn't it? You know, I mean, look at what's happened now with King Charles. We've got a king now in Britain. Doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference to the Queen being here.
You have a new mascot, a new mascot
Yes,
in the
exactly.
house.
Yeah.
The big Dumbo flying all around. Woo! Careful with the winds.
Yeah, exactly. It's you know, it's all part and parcel of everything. And if you just be true to yourself and just realise that this is just all that's you know, when you're saying about republics and common law and
but
everything else, you know, just look at the facts, read the facts, do you know, just be within yourself, and you know,
but
I know it's hard.
even the king has to ask for permission to get into London City.
Yes, but
Yeah, so
apparently,
because
you know, yeah. Go on. Sorry.
so yeah,
No.
so basically, yeah. I mean, the king is a servant to whoever runs London City. So who is the king or the president of London City? People should know certain things.
I know.
Well, yes.
Can I tell?
Yeah.
Can I say? I have a big nose and I cannot fly. I have a big nose and I cannot fly. I have a big nose and I cannot fly.
Go on then, big nose.
Oh my God! I was gonna say.
In it. Yeah, go on.
Something
Sorry.
about the
Go on.
nose.
I got it right, Loco.
What's that?
I said, did I get it right?
If you got it right, you okay. Well, most probably. I can't tell for sure, but yeah, most likely.
You're saying that the king has to have permission
yes.
to the country. No.
Lilko, didn't you see the new file in the archaics?
No.
Oh, you need to go and check it out. Then you will say it for certain.
Well,
yeah. Trust me. I have a big nose and I cannot fly. This is gonna be my next song.
Yeah. So, we had
You have a big
Marques Pombal.
Wait, Florbella is with a delay.
Yeah.
Oh, she left now. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, she's back
Marques
again.
Marques Pombal chased them out of the country.
Oh, that's a motherfucking lie. Bullshit. BS.
Is it?
Where did you get that information from, Luca?
Well, from the history books.
Exactly.
Wait, let's hear Florbella because her mic is a troublemaker.
Can you hear me?
We are all just to hear you.
Yeah.
No, not that. This
we
is
are
crazy.
hearing you.
Crazy phone.
We can hear you.
Phone. Oh, go, good.
Oh yeah, she's there. I recognise the screen.
I think all this history that says they were expelled from all these countries, they're all a bunch of lies.
Yeah,
because they've been expelled from Portugal and they still live here. And I just came across an article today talking about the different types because of the breed has different types, you know. So and some of them aren't even what they're supposed to be. But in any case, this is all in code because we cannot really talk about the subject. But I think it's a big lie that they've been kicked out of all these countries. it's just another way of others feeling sorry for them and them being able to do the things that they do. That's all. Yeah, makes sense.
You have to go and look for Toto. Toto pulled the curtain.
Yeah.
Who's behind the curtain? It's not what you see that is the real truth.
Always look beyond what you can see.
Oh, yeah, it's behind. Way behind. Oh. Let's hear from Otto.
A good saying, right? If you hold 4 fingers up in front of your face, right? As we were saying about looking beyond, okay? Hold 4 fingers up in front of your face, right? And focus on those 4 fingers. Once you focus on those 4 fingers, what can you see beyond those 4 fingers? Because you're focusing on them 4 fingers. What can you see beyond those 4 fingers? That is something that I'm going to leave that with you. Because once you look and focus, you will see beyond those 4 fingers. And you'll see maybe more.
Yeah. True to that. Let's hear from Otto. Otto, are you there?
Hey, Carla.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm listening to you guys, but I can't really speak now. Sorry.
Okay, don't worry. Just keep on listening.
Okay,
Have any
thanks.
questions?
No. I'm fine, thanks. Cheers, thanks.
You. Bye-bye. Anyone, any questions? Come on, guys. Today's a quick Q&A. There is no Q&A. Hello?
Hello. How are you?
Good.
Have you seen that the file that I sent to you by message in Divergent chat?
In the chat? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, the rights of entry for gas and electric. Yeah.
I found that, and I don't know if you know this group, because this is, I believe, here in Scotland. It calls Beat the Beliefs.
Beat the Bailiffs, yeah.
Yeah?
Mm.
You know, they are doing the same with David, or is something, because they spoke about common law as well. So, because
no, they don't do the affidavit. Beat the Bailiffs. They are doing a 3-letter process. You know, it's completely different to the affidavit. You know, everybody's got their own way of doing things and whatever, but I've gone down quite a few routes myself. You know, I'm purely on the affidavit. But you know, I've done common law. I've done a lot of avenues I've gone down. But the affidavit is all factual. It's all there, and Beat the Bailiffs is good, and they are using the system against the system, if that makes any sense. But they don't actually stand with it.
No, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No, it doesn't. And
no.
You know, it's not. It's very much common law, but also, you know, it's all about.
If the affidavit tells you there is no system because you never consented to it, so what the hell?
You can't use a system against the system. This is what I'm saying, what Beat the Bailiffs is.
They do a 3-letter process, and they go on about of doing Also, I think it's the notice of acceptance or
Withdraw
whatever.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I
No,
mean,
because
but we cannot go through that route when we know that everything is fraud. So are
I
you
know.
accepting to agree with the fraud? What the hell?
No, because I saw a lot of common information that we have in Divergent, and in this one, that's why I was like, I'm not sure because something don't make any sense. But I saw
It
the
doesn't make any
affidavit on the
sense.
files as well, so I
It
was
doesn't
like,
make any sense because it's not fact, because what they're doing is they are using the system
something.
within the
Yeah.
system. Does that make any sense?
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Sorry, sorry, Carla. It's just, you know, I've
No.
you know, I've been doing a few routes and avenues and looked at a few things, you know, hence why I've been away. But yeah, beat the bailiffs, you know, have a look at that and everything else. And you know, I've been on a few talks on their things, and I've said about the affidavit, and I was blocked and everything else, because at the end of the day, you know, you just say what the facts are, and the facts are within the affidavit, and the affidavit is factual and tool. It is a tool that is there, you know, and what else can I say, really? It's just, yeah, everybody to their own. Everybody wants to do whatever they want to do, but the affidavit is factual and it's there in black and white.
I saw the affidavit file on their group. That's why I was like, maybe.
Yeah, because I told them to put it on there, and that's where I got blocked. But they put it on there.
Okay.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay. Thank you.
It's probably similar to what habeas corpus is doing here in Portugal.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, they're using the system, you know, and they even inviting the people to bring their traffic fines and all that, you know. But yeah, once we start talking about the affidavit and all that, they all get blocked, you know, and they're not interested. And supposedly Rui Castro is a judge. He is supposed to know certain things, but obviously he is part of the whole scheme, because obviously if he still acts as a lawyer, he is still registered with the ordens advogados, with the guild.
Yeah, but
so sorry.
But probably he knows about this for sure.
Yeah, he should know. He should know that an affidavit or uma declaração de facto e de verdade is the most powerful document, because it's done by a living man or woman, while everything else, including the Constitution, is not, because it's not a declaration from anyone that is alive. So it's all part of the fiction. So basically, what they're doing is to collect the dissidents that are, you know, kind of searching for solutions, and they're just pulling them back into the system, into the matrix. That's how I see it.
But anybody can do an affidavit. But David Barron Ward's affidavit has been, you know, it's sealed. He actually got the government to state that we need consent to be governed, and that's all basically what it is. And that's what the Baron David Ward's affidavit is, because it's an open document where it can be used all over the world. So this is the issue with all governments all over the world, that they know this, And once you send the affidavit and you state that you need to rebut it, they can't rebut it, and that within itself is the most powerful thing.
No, because there's no. I mean, the government cannot rebut anything. Only the agents that work for the government, they could eventually, but obviously they're not going to go against their employer. So the government is not a living entity.
No, because they're all trained to all over the world, all the government's employees, police enforcement, anything to do with the government, which is the companies, regardless, trees branched off, government, police force, everything else. They are all believe that what they're doing is completely right. And this is, this is where we have to educate them. And this is where when, we're up against a system where it would be like anything, you've got to educate people. You've got to tell them, well, all right, you've known this for so long and you think this is right, but this isn't right. And what you do with the affidavit is you send it. If they don't, and you get people coming at your door and whatever, well, then you just have to be calm and collective, and you have to just give them the evidence and show them that, well, you're not right. This is how it is.
It's the other way around. They have to give us the evidence.
Yes, but what I'm saying is the evidence is in, for us to say to them, to educate them. There's the evidence. There's your education. What I'm saying.
We don't have to educate anybody. We don't have to. Unless you want to, but you don't have to.
No,
because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that would like to remain ignorant. That's what I come across.
What we're saying is we're up against the system that they have been indoctrinated like us, but we know the facts, and we have to stand up and say, well, okay, you think this is right. Well, I'm sorry, but this isn't right. And you have to educate them. You have to, say to them, look, this is where it is. This is. You have to educate them, if that makes sense.
We don't have to.
No, you don't have to. No, but you don't have to. But this is where it comes into play with trying to get it out there to educate enforcement, engage in making sort of educating them that what you believe in or what you've been indoctrinated to believe isn't what it is.
We have to allow them to believe in whatever they want to believe. They just need to prove it.
Yes.
That's all. That's it.
Absolutely.
We just.
But they're not going to know any difference unless you tell them, are they?
We just throw the ball onto their court. Okay, so you say that I owe you this. Oh, really? Okay, so prove it. So you say there is a law that I have to obey. Oh, is there really? Okay, prove it. And that's it. We don't have to educate anybody. We don't have to. I mean, we have to educate our children. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
That is an obligation, because otherwise if we don't do it, someone else will. So we need to leave this world or whatever, this place, for those that come after us.
Our children.
In a way. Yeah, in a way that they can actually be free and happy. But not if we don't do what we meant to be doing, someone else will, and we can see what they are trying to do. So yeah, in a way, well, we don't have to, but we
we
don't
don't
have to allow them. We don't have to allow them either. Yeah, to do whatever they
But
want. So we
what
need to
I'm trying to
stop them
say is
somehow, and that's
yes, and the only way we can stop them is by educating our children. But while we're here, we can educate others, and the only way we're going to educate others is if we get into altercations with people knocking at the door or being, up against the system. You just have to be calm, and you just have to say, well, look, like you said, I have no obligation. This is this. This is this. This is it. And that is where you plant the seed. And does that make any sense?
Hello? Hello? What happened? Well,
Yeah.
probably,
Sorry. I think
yeah,
my internet went off then. Yeah. Sorry.
probably Leoko lost his connection with the internet.
No, I'm still here.
Are you still there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just waiting for someone else to ask some more questions.
Okay, let's see. Oh, we have Prabjit.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Prabjit, you good? Hello, David.
How are you, Carla?
I am good, and you?
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah, today is a Q&A, so guys, shoot your questions away. Any questions, David? David Kerwin? Am I saying that right? Yeah. Prajub, do you have any questions?
No, I have attended the Monday meeting for the lean. So I'm working on I'm editing the lean right now, my first lean.
Wow, look at you.
Stacy and Susie have helped me getting the claims out of the notice.
Wow, beautiful.
And tonight, like Monday night, I'll be showing them and they will be doing the necessary changes.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are in very good hands, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks a lot to you for your guidance.
No
It all
need to
started with
thank.
you.
No need. You have to say thank you to yourself because you made a choice.
Yes.
It's all on you. Nothing to do with us. We are here just to give you that little bit of impulse for you to be able to know that you have the power.
Correct.
You always had it.
Yeah.
And we are here to celebrate. Every time you press the enter button, we are cheering with you. Woo-hoo!
Yeah.
Another Baroness in the making.
True. Manmeet was telling me that we are really blessed to get the affidavit. There are so many people in the world, but everybody is not blessed with the affidavit. So there's a reason why God has chosen us for this. So we have to work on it and we have to get the things done. So after hearing that, now it feels like a blessing. But even after knowing it from years, we couldn't, start doing it. But there came a time that all of a sudden things happened and I came into this. But the guidance, 24 guidance, which all the admins provide us is like to another level. So I'm grateful for that.
That's like I said, no need to be grateful. You know why?
Yeah.
Because then it will be you paying it forward. That's exactly what each one of us admins are doing. It's not an obligation, it's paying it forwards, because that's what we need, you know?
True.
But gratefulness is always there. Must be.
Yeah, for you, for yourself.
Yeah.
If
Well,
For taking
not
that
only.
it's because it's all on you. It has nothing to do with us, you know. The only thing that I think we can be together in one thing is in the celebration. That's where we can all get together and celebrate, you know.
Yeah, but gratitude is in the celebration. Celebration itself is based on on
on
on
being grateful
universal
for who you
gratitude.
are. Yeah. True. Let's hear from who else. Who else wants to have a question? David, are you there or not? Or are you too shy?
No, I'm here.
Oh, glad to hear your voice. Shoot. Do you
I'm
have
just
any
listening
questions?
in. What's the main topic today?
Q&A.
I
No
see.
topic. Yeah, you just shoot your questions and yeah, that's it.
Has anybody seen that new movie called? Excuse me.
The movie is
The
called
movie is
Excuse Me?
Nefarious. Have you seen that new movie Nefarious?
Nefarious. I don't think I have. Anyone have seen that movie?
It came out recently.
No.
It's by a Christian fellow named Steve Dace, and it's about the spiritual light and dark. You know, the spiritual realm. And it was a very poignant film. I just had watched it recently.
Where can we find that one?
It's playing in the States. I don't know where you all live, but there's a website, nefarioustickets.com, and anywhere that it plays, it shows you a local theater. But the main character is a gentleman on death row, and he's facing murder charges, but he claims that he was possessed by a demon. That's the storyline. And so he gets a psych eval to see whether or not he has multiple personality disorder or if there's a true dark realm that's taken him over. So it opens a lot of people's eyes, especially the non-believers, to the dark realm and the spiritual forces. Pretty cool.
That sounds really interesting. Yeah, Florbella or Diogo, you guys see if you can find that one for me.
So I guess
What
if
is
I
it
was to
called
ask a
again?
question, Nefarious.
Nefarious, okay. Whereabouts
So if I
are
was
you?
to ask a question, just curious everyone's thoughts in terms of where the evil one operates in the world today. Does he operate in such a way that people can be possessed by demons and become the agent of the evil one?
Yes, it does exist, I guess.
Well, then the other side of it is outside of biblical principles. How do we operate properly in the context of today's evil as agents of light?
No idea.
By living in truth, because light manifests itself as clarity. Clarity manifests itself as transparency. Transparency reaches us as truth. So truth is light. And so we, or the human heart, is the catalyst. We have the ability of discernment, and therefore we can either choose between truth or falsity. So on the left hand side, you'd have falsity, you'll have lies, you'll have darkness, which is the opposite of truth and light, right? But the more light you have within yourself, the deeper you can actually go into the lies and the deception and darkness. And, you shouldn't venture into darkness without light. So you might get lost. So
Right.
you should have, that spark in your soul, which is based on truth, and you manifest your whatever is around you based on truth, and therefore by living truth in truth and speaking the truth, being a vessel for truth, you are a vessel for light. And the demons, they don't like to be exposed. They run and hide from the light. And so by having this light permanently within your heart and in your consciousness, you can defeat the demons, because they are always trying to hide and or to create deceptions and lies, and that's how they operate. And you expose them by asking them, okay. The one thing about the affidavit, Baron David Ward's affidavit, and a lot of people that are into the spiritual worlds, they criticize, oh, but there's many things that should be there that are not there. And that's not the fact, because what these demonic entities, whatever you want to call them, they are trying to do is to trap the souls into the material realm, right? We have come into this earth, into this material realm, to experience this physicality and this three-dimensional reality. But we are not from here. And while you have the connection to spirit, to where we actually came from, we come and we go. we come, experience, learn, and then we go back to where we came from. But what they're trying to do is to trap the souls into the materiality, and so especially by using this gene therapies and so many traps, because they need to feed off, and what they use fear, they use guilt, they use a whole lot of things in order to feed their darkness. So we need to release ourselves from the materiality, but you know they are the atheists. They always ask, "Oh, you have to prove this and you have to prove that." There are certain things that cannot be proven, but those are not included, obviously, in the affidavit, because the affidavit only deals with material fact, and that is their realm. So if they make their claims of their fictions, their lies, we only ask, okay, prove it in this material realm that you exist, that there is a republic, or that there is a kingdom, or that there is whatever, a law. So if they claim, they have to prove it in the material world, because this is their world, it's their game. So basically, we need to learn how to defeat them in their own game, because
Yeah.
they are all based on deception and lies, and that's the way I can explain.
Thank you.
Anyone wants to add anything more? No? Okay.
We had a discussion the other day with Jorge Malheiro and some other girl, Contumelias or whatever she calls herself. And what we've realized, what I've realized, not now, I mean, it's something that I've realized before, is that there's a lot of people that they have a lot of studies. They have degrees, and they studied whether sciences or law or whatever it is. And so they, besides all the knowledge they have, which is valuable, of course, but they get stuck into this materiality because when you start speaking about certain things that are a bit more spiritual or that are immaterial, obviously you cannot prove anything that is immaterial, right? Like, for example, we were talking about, I can't remember exactly what was the main topic, but, I asked them, okay, so how is the heart forming, or what is it that creates that pulse of the heart? And so they have studied medical sciences, they have studied neurological sciences, and so on. And so they giving me all the explanations. Well, the heart is formed this way and that way in the fetus, and so on and so on. But that electromagnetic pulse that starts somewhere around the 49th day of gestation, it's not physical. There is something that triggers that pulse that stays within you from from the first moment when the heart starts pulsing until the last moment of your life. And that force is it's more than just energy, because they can confirm that the heart is not only a pump, it actually twirls, creates spirals the flow of the blood, or creates spirals so that the blood can flow through the veins and through the whole system. So yeah, there is an energetic world which is connected to the physical world, but there is something else beyond energy. I like to call it energy.
Maybe what you're saying, it's like the Wi-Fi. You can't see it, but you can tune into it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, yeah, because but that is still within the physical realm somehow.
Yeah, you need to click something to. Yeah, I get you. No, but I was saying, if you take that out of the equation, if you take that pressing turn Wi-Fi on or turn the Wi-Fi off, take that out
yeah,
of the equation, you are left with what? Nothing. It's not visible, but you are connecting to something. So there is something out there, like the
yeah,
ether as well. You
yeah,
can't see it, but it's there, and you can extract energy from it.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
so yeah, we what they have managed to do was to well, from the medical perspective, for example, they have obfuscated all the ancient healing systems and processes in order to sell us the modern medicine, right? And so, there's so many things that our ancestors uh, had, some incredible knowledge regarding the life and regarding health and so on, that simply have been forgotten. And so they have created this Western medicine that we call it conventional, and then everything else is alternative. When in fact, some of these
I wouldn't say forgotten. I would say that was architected, cleverly removed from us.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah, of course,
because
it was
if you
intentional.
see, yeah, if you see now, in the other day I put a post about that. There is a greater consciousness that is available through our DNA. So it's like we are going back to the ancient knowledge that we somehow it was lost, and we are kind of bringing it back, you know. But we are
Yeah,
not discovering nothing. It was already there, but it was hidden.
yeah, it was artificially
Yeah.
removed
Like that,
from.
like that quote from Nikola Tesla, which is once the science the scientific what was it? Oh, I can't remember now. Okay, go on. I will. I will find that one.
Yeah,
I lost it.
that's true, because they like the oil industry, for example, just to give an example, has taken the monopoly of so many energy sources that we could technologically, in fact, be way much more advanced than what we are, with free energy, or whatever we can conceive as free energy, because there is energy everywhere, right? But they had to find a way to bill us so they can profit. So they created these systems of energy and propulsion and whatever, that we have to buy the energy or to pay somebody in order to have access to these things. But if we had developed all these technologies that have been suppressed, everybody would be having access to all these sources of energy without having to pay anybody. And so no one would profit and everybody would benefit. And the same thing with medicine, like and even these vaccines and everything, because they need us to be sick. And they say, they even lie to us. They say that our ancestors lived less. It's not true. I mean, our ancestors, my grandmother, she didn't live up to much old age, but on average, people used to live up to their 80s, 90s, and that was the norm, you know. But yet they say that now we live longer, when it's not the truth. I mean, people are dying younger, especially now with these heart attacks and problems, with the heart, that we never seen before. If they say this is normal, if people think this is normal, I mean, they are fast asleep, because it's not normal. We used to see, all sorts of sports, and no one was falling on the field. And now, I mean, I don't even watch the news, but you can't help it but to see, oh, there's another one that has died on the field in sports. Supposedly young people uh, supposed to be healthy, playing sports, and all of a sudden they have these, like sudden death. There's even something called sudden death syndrome, and they are making fun of us, big time. It's insane world. I don't know where. I mean, we have to change this. I think they're actually doing everything they can for people to wake up. and the people are, some of them are waking up, but I don't know. They're still allowing so much crap. I don't know.
Can I pipe in?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult to accept the idea that we're surrounded by a death cult and that people would desire the death of their fellow man and lie about it. It's very difficult to accept that. So, like with this idea of this sudden death and the vaccines and claimed vaccines and so on, people do have to, to your point earlier, people do have to speak the truth to bring light to the topic. So if people are dropping dead and they're having these sudden heart issues, strokes, etc., they're more prevalent because of more evil, and it all is based on deception, which is why I think that the world leaders are agents of the devil, because they're promoting and pushing these lies, which results in human suffering and not human flourishing. It results in death. And so the evil one comes to kill and destroy. So as we see world leaders who are accepting of these things, promoting these things, they are now agents of evil. So when someone comes to bring the truth of the matter, it can't be done in a overly nice way, because someone who is deceived and has received the lie, operates by the lie, perpetuates the lie. They will never come out of the fog with Mr. Nice Guy or Miss Nice Gal going, well, it could be something else. The nature of the lie is so wretched that the counterpoint to it must be very bold in nature to be heard in the first place, let alone considered. So it just seems like the light that we bring can't be a small flashlight. It needs to be a high count of lumens in order for it to come through the deep darkness that is around. So this is what it seems like to me.
Yeah, I agree. Because your president, Biden, I have no idea how people actually,
I know, no words, no words.
There's no words.
I know what you're
yeah.
saying. How do they accept it? How do they stand behind it? Well, the only answer I can come up with is they're under a great delusion, because otherwise you cannot. It doesn't make sense to anyone with a sound mind that they could look at that and go, "Oh yes, this is good." Only if they're under a great deception could they actually do that.
Allow it, or I don't know. I mean, yeah, it can only be a great deception, because it's millions of people, that are allowing the craziest things going
It's
on.
a simulation. It's a simulation, and most of them are NPCs, and that's just the way it is. And if we look at good versus evil, you're looking at the extremes, and they control both extremes, whoever they are. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we live in duality, so you're always going to have both sides. But I think our focus is to kind of be in the center as much as we can. And really, if you look at this as a simulation, which, everything points to that, it's like a game, and can you, I've read a book before that talked about the pendulum of a grandfather's clock, and the pendulum will go from left to right. And obviously, if you live your life in this type of swing from left to right, you're always going to be catching everything that comes towards you. But if you focus on just balancing in the center and not moving from one extreme to the other, you'll see that most of the things don't even affect you, and you just move through life.
Let me show you. It's 11:11, and we have 11 participants in this call. There you have it. Crack the code. Crack the code.
Absolutely.
Wake up, Neo.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't get distracted by the numbers. It's AIX. Yeah. Trying to distract you. Yeah, more and more that I resonate with that, because everything is so insane. I mean, basically, you look at this world, and this is a negative of something that would exist. It's like looking at a picture and a negative of that picture in the olden days when we used to have the negatives. And this is the opposite of anything that makes sense, because nothing makes sense here. At least to me, it doesn't.
Well, if we do play the middle, the central position, and act not as a character in the play, if you will, isn't that how we got to this point? By not being on the
because I think we have gotten to this point by being blinded to what's going on. And I think if you know what's going on and you are conscious about your actions and being in the middle, you're not just going with the flow. Because for me, at least for me, 2020 was like a real vision of how the world was, because I was totally asleep. But I didn't think I was. I thought I was in another, on another journey, and I saw things differently, and I was more awake than some other people around me, just to find out that I was just being manipulated the same way the others were being manipulated in a different way.
Yeah,
right?
What Florbel is saying, and regarding what David mentioned, it's like once you are out of the play, you are not either a spectator nor a player in the play. So you are actually outside of the theater, because you can watch the play going on. There's
you can
Joe
rewrite the
Biden.
play.
Yeah, and you see all these different plays. There's Zelensky, there's Joe Biden, there's Trump, there's the Guterres, and all these characters in the play, and they going on with their thing. But people participate in different. They're actually a whole range of different plays. The Chinese society and all this different.
This whole thing is a play.
Yeah,
I mean,
the whole.
you look at it. Yeah, it has to be. It has to be, because nothing makes sense.
We don't live outside of the play. It's happening right in front of our eyes. So I don't know.
Not if you're using Baron David's word affidavit. I mean, you're
I don't
trying.
know anything about that.
Okay, so maybe you should, maybe read about it and study the document.
Here's an example. Okay, real day. So my children attend public and private school. Okay. The one child I have in public school, what they're putting in the schools. All this Marxist garbage,
Where are you?
transgenderism, right? So I'm looking at that going, okay, so I can't ride the fence on this. I'm certainly going to be choosing a side, and I'm going to choose the proper side. But I feel like the way that the truth is brought in is it's not sitting to the sideline just watching it occur. There's no way that I could do that. So
absolutely
for example,
not.
now,
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Well,
no. You need to make your stand. Absolutely. Yeah,
right.
but you can't fight them. You can't fight them in their system. because their
Right,
system
and
is
that's
fake.
exactly so. So let me tell you this. This week, we started a lawsuit in Oakland County, Michigan, through Thomas More Law Center, who's doing this for free, and they're going after the schools who are not operating by the parental request for sex education, because sex education is no longer on these dates in this classroom. It's woven into the entire philosophy of the education system. And
It's
so when you ask
ridiculous.
the
It's
school district
crazy.
to exclude your child, they would have to exclude them from everything because it's woven into the fabric of what they teach, their entire curriculum.
Yeah.
So
So
my
they can't respond.
suggestion to a situation like this, because I guess you're in Michigan. I grew up in Toronto, and Canada is a little bit different, but more or less it's very close to the same thing as the States, because their school system is just gone bonkers. Really, it's ridiculous with all these things that they're putting into schools. But one thing I would suggest is that if you don't like what the school is doing and there are other parents that don't like it, then we are at a stage, I believe, that we need to start finding alternatives for what we have. You're not going to fight. You're not going to fight this system. They are on a Brave New World agenda. Okay, I mean, you wake up and decide what you feel like. Maybe you feel like you're a dog today, or oh, you're a boy, you're a girl. I don't know, all this crazy stuff they're putting kids through, and parents just need to be aware of what's going on, because I mean, I knew in Canada, the school system was very different than at least here in Portugal from when I started in school. And they were teaching a lot of things, and they were saying a lot of different things that they didn't say here. So they've been on this agenda of I don't know, leftist, whatever you want to call it, but kind of turning everyone into the same thing. And they're getting there because we are just too busy consuming their merchandise, and then get blamed for climate change because we're producing too much garbage. We're the problem of everything. And so we need to wake up. We need to wake up and start creating a different reality for us and for our children and for the ones that we love that are around us. You can't fight them in their system. I think this is like, no.
Can I ask Kevin a question?
Yeah.
Kevin, do you have back there in the US a kind of parents association related, I mean, with the school? Within the school, you parents have a kind of associations or any kind of group that can interfere with the authority of the school? Or do you have representatives in the school board or something?
I'm sorry, were you talking to me?
Yeah, I was talking to David, asking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you ask the question again? I didn't hear you.
The question is if you have kind of parents association back there, or any kind of representatives, someone who represents the parents.
Yeah, there's a parent group and things of that nature. There's a newly elected school board member that comes from a conservative parent group who's disrupting the school board in a major way. Matter of fact, the superintendent in the school district is the highest paid superintendent in the state of Michigan, and he just went on a leave of absence for mental and other anguish. So he's stepped out of the role temporarily, and there's a deputy superintendent that's now in charge. So it's like, I would like to create an alternate reality, which in some ways I've done with private school, Christian school, for my other children. But in this age of financial woes, I'm going to be pulling them out of the private school based on money and based on proximity. And I'm putting my children in a different public school district.
But while I may live in a different status than the rest of my community, but all the right-minded people can't leave the public square and let it continue to go rot to hell. So it's like, yes, I have an alternate reality. I live for God's kingdom, and I live as an alien in a foreign land, but at the same time, I'm in the land. So it seems like we have to do both. Like there's a legal notice that was served last week to the school district. And so they're going to have to use their lawyers to respond to that. But that's playing the world on the world's field. But we can't just play there. We have to play on the spiritual realm as well. And so I always have a hard time finding the balance between the two, where to pick up, and run and where not to.
Right. I think if you allow me, in this kind of situation, I'm quite sure that you're not the only one thinking like that, and even having an opinion, contrary opinion to this flow of crap coming through the kids. Probably among the parents, I'm sure that there should be much more people, parents, thinking like you and having the same opinion, and probably they are not feeling confident enough or supported by anyone else to give the step and have an opinion or even express their opinion against the system. Probably if my advice or opinion, whatever you want to see it, if you probably in a parents meeting expose the situation without putting any, well, I wouldn't say all your knowledge on the table, but at least against that kind of philosophy, the new philosophy they are just contaminating the kids with, and expose that and ask for someone or others with the same in the same wave to have the same approach and probably write down some paper or I don't know how you call them, some express your will and your thoughts and your agreement. I mean, agreement to not agree with what they're doing with the kids. Probably that could be much more powerful than to get the kids to a private school where the philosophy is different or goes towards your
The thing,
wishes, education of
yeah,
your kids. You know what I mean?
the
Put
thing is that
pressure with
you still within their system, because what Florbella was saying is about the program. What the schools do is program the minds of the children. And so this leftist philosophy that has taken over the schooling system, they want to keep the people, and starting with the children, as ignorant as possible, but with sufficient knowledge to operate the machines and to keep the system running, right? So what Florabella was saying is to create an alternate reality. I know it's not easy, but I mean, I don't have any kids, so I can't really say. But if I had, I would have taken them out of public or private school long time ago. I don't know how, but there are ways. And the paper that you're talking about, what we base our um, papers is on David Ward's affidavit, because the affidavit with all the annexes to it, it's a 65-page document that it breaks down the entire system, the matrix, and just exposes the truth on facts, right? Starting from the existence of money or law or politics, because everything that they
I think the most important here that I heard Kevin saying is authority. Okay, first and foremost, this channel here, Divergent Motivation, like Loki was saying, we have our own remedy. Yeah, we found our own remedy. Now, the question here is that David is being presented with the choice inside of the matrix. He has to make a choice. So he has to understand, are you going to do by your truth and fight your truth? Or are you going to just lay down and let others impose their truth on you? I see that you are a very religious man. So you have to go for the beginning, okay? So if and this is how I looked into my situation. I think that the Creator or God, whatever each one of us wants to call it, he will not give me something that he didn't know I was capable of solving. So if you are being presented with that situation, go inside yourself, because all the answers are there. The only thing I can tell you from this channel here and what we can offer you is the affidavit of Baron David Wards. We can give you support on that, in that sense of like understanding or breaking down the wording in the affidavit. But the first choice is you. You have to know, how are you going to prepare yourself for this battle? Because like you said, it is a battle between the good and the evil, between the spiritual and the material. And we are being called all hands on deck. What is it that we are going to create? Are we going to allow that this evil system that has been perpetuating for 800 years to continue? Or are we going to create a new one? Do we know better? Can we learn from the past? Can we make it? Can we create a new? Are we able to give everything that we think we have and go to war? And when I say war, it's not a war that is going to cause harm or loss to our other fellow men or women. No, it isn't. It is our own internal war. Are you going to stand and stay true to your core beliefs, or are you going to continue to go through what others want you to go through? That's my 2 cents to that.
If you allow me to put that in practice, in this situation, for example, David has 2 or I don't know how many kids, but more than 1 apparently, in the system. What should we do? What should he do exactly? Take them out of the system, or just impose his
we cannot say, none of us can tell him what he can do. It has to come from within. He will know what he needs to do. The only thing I can tell him is either he chooses to read the affidavit, I can support him with that and give him a better understanding. Because the affidavit, again, like Luca was saying, it's the foundation, you know? You go to understand that there is no law. What you have is man-made law. Yeah, even in the Bible, you can read that you shall not take any person's name. And we continue to play the game of the name, you know? Lose the name, win the game. It's
right,
that
but
easy.
In this case, well, it's easy to say you can do this or you can do that, but in practice, with the affidavit, you can't just go there with the paper in his hand and just say, "Oh, you have to do this and that." I think
No. The paper speaks for no, it doesn't work like that. No. Well, first and foremost, you need to understand what is an affidavit. Yeah, it's the most powerful document that you can have in their system.
Yeah, but we applying this to a real situation in this case, and in this
Yeah,
situation,
well, you make a stand by serving that affidavit.
and say, "Oh, I have this," and you, well, the only I mean, from my point of view, and I'm sorry, I can't see too further than that, much further than that, is either take the kids out or keep them in. And if you want to keep the kids in, he has to impose, well, his point of view or his reality. Well, let's call it reality, and say, no, I want my kids to be educated like this, and not like that. And in this situation, I don't think he has another option. Is either he copes with the system or he just, no, I'm taking my kids out. That's what he said. And I'll take them to another, well, educational institution, which is the same, but with other flowers or other colors.
Yeah, that's why it needs to be him to understand what is really going on. Because we come from a perspective of the affidavit. So we know, that everything that you have, even in the public or the private school or what have you, it's a lie. It's fraud. It's a Rothschild world. So either you are okay to deal with that and leave your kids in there, or you don't. But again, that understanding has to come from within. You cannot have it both ways. You have to make a choice.
Indeed. I was asking you, can I ask you if you have kids or not?
I do, yeah.
Do you have them in the public system or in the private system, or are you educated?
No. One of them is by his own choice. He wants to be in school, but the other one is already a woman and already has her own family to take care of.
But was the person?
But my son is educated with the facts and the knowledge. No, he's educated at home by the facts and the knowledge, and by his own choice, he decided to go to school system. But he knows that he's there and why he's there. He wants to be there, and for me, I see things like this. He's his own man. I'm only his counselor. I can only tell him because words don't teach. So if he has to go through his own experience, me as a parent, I have the obligation to tell him, listen, there is this and this and this and this. He read the affidavit. He's been with me in some gatherings that we did. So he already knows the facts. He knows it in a way that the other day, last year, he came home because they wanted him to sign a piece of paper. And he folded the paper and he brought it home and he said, Mom, they wanted me to sign. And I said, okay, and have you read it? And he said, yes, I read it, but I didn't understand some of the wording. So I brought it home for you to explain to me if I could sign it or not, because he knows the power of his signature.
Exactly.
So most of the things that we need to understand is that us that need to educate our
the signature has any value? You are in UK, aren't you?
Yeah.
Does the signature, if you are underage and under 18, has any value there? I mean, are they responsible for themselves if they are minors?
That's the thing. They are trying to again mud the waters.
Okay. Getting them into the shape.
But again, he knows. He's 11 and he already knows a lot of things. So you can't fool him.
You have to assume that that's not normal for an 11-year-old boy, and he's your son, and you know a lot about that, and the education was different, but the system you apply at your place, at your home, it's not the same system that every houses apply to the kids, and and even the quantity of knowledge of other families are not probably the same as within your family. So I
Yeah,
think
because we need to be responsible. We need to be we always tend to see things that is exterior to us, but it isn't. If the moment that I came to the knowledge of the facts, yeah, I start to speak first with my family. I do not tell them what they need to do because each one is their own individual. Yeah, but I will always tell them, you already know because I already pass it. I already pay it forward. You know, I explain it to you. Now your actions will be your responsibility. It's not my responsibility anymore. Do you understand?
Yeah. But the thing is, as someone said before, I can't remember who, about about medicine, and this all comes to the same, which is you can always only have responsibility over your attitudes if you have the knowledge. If you don't, you're just in the dark. So you can go and shot in any direction or just bang against anything because you don't have the knowledge. So first you have to have the knowledge, and then with the knowledge, with the light, you can decide which way.
I think that
No,
the
sorry.
first
I
thing,
think you need to question. You need to question everything.
the first thing
Yeah.
that you need to
Knowledge doesn't
have
come to you
is,
if you don't question.
yeah.
Yeah, and
True, I
people are
agree.
not questioning. People are just following the experts and everything they are told on TV.
True. And that's why this all came, then this goes to the conversation backwards. That's why all came to this point, because people consent without action of
Do
being
they?
ruled.
Do they consent in reality? Legally?
Well, see,
Are they
well, not
consenting? Are they consenting to anything? I mean, have we consented to the so-called government that tells us what to do and not what to do?
Florella, not this kind of consent, but when you don't act, you are accepting. You know, that's their perspective.
But you need to.
No. Consent. There is only one form of consent. There is
True.
not many
Silence is
variables of
consent.
consent. Yeah, there is only one form of consent, and it's not because I go to the hospital. Yeah, and it's they say it's what do they call it? It's a public hospital. Yeah, that I am
Right.
consenting with their rules. It doesn't work like that. Consent is by agreement.
True.
Yeah.
If you don't take actions, if something is happening in front of you, and if you don't say anything, if you don't oppose yourself to that, you consent that. So people
No. You are putting a word that it's not the correct word in that sentence. It's
Well,
not consent. You are being accomplice of fraud. If you already know the facts and you see fraud being committed and you don't make your stand in, you don't correct the record, so you are complicit with fraud.
Exactly, that's it.
Yeah.
So all the system came to this point with the complicity of our ancestors.
Yeah, because we allow it. Yeah.
That's it.
True.
Not written consent and conscious consent of anything, but just accepting that. Okay, I'll accept that it's
The same way people are accepting things that are being done today. Oh, why do you do that? Oh, it's law. We are told we have to do this. So it was just not our ancestors. We continue to do it.
Well, that happens with the injections they were doing to the people. And if you, the ones in Portugal knows
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was flabbergasted when I saw people accepting the fact that we were to stay home under house arrest for 2 weeks. I couldn't believe it. And people just just really, went along with it very nicely and quietly. And
know if you wherever in Portugal or in Europe by then, but I know what I did, and I know what I had to deal with inside and outside my place, my house, and including with my friends, including going to my friend's house, and they ask, "Oh, why are you not wearing a mask?" And say, "What the fuck am I wearing a mask? Oh, well, am I planning some attack or something? Am I planning to rob a bank?" No, I'm not. And including to public institutions, I was having. Well, I'm not going to tell you here from all the things I passed through during that time, but probably I was I was coming on some newspaper sometime because of the things I was doing. But well, I was not doing it because I was living my normal life. But the thing is, people were accepting. And a few days ago, 2-3 days ago, I was talking to a friend of mine, okay? And he was very proud of having had 3 injections and saying, "No, this is all theories of conspiracy and this is nothing is happening." Said, "But have you seen that many hundreds of people are dying all over the world because of this?" And he was saying, "Are you mad? Now, all the time in the past, people died and they keep dying and they will die in the future. So I have 3 doses of that and I'm very happy."
And just be happy for him, because there's nothing you can do really. I mean, the guy is living in his own illusion. So, and I think 2020 was a great year as a filter, because people really got to know how other people reacted, and yeah, I think people got real
to identify them.
yeah
Before,
it's like
you couldn't. Before you couldn't. You
yeah
had to have an interaction with them. But now it's so easy to identify them, They are so proud. They go around and say, "Oh, I'm so proud," and yada yada. But then
exactly
you just look at them and like, "Oh, okay, good for you then."
Well, many people, including from my family, dying because of that shit.
But the program has been done like that.
Yeah, I know that. I accept that.
Most of the people that we are interacting, they are NPCs, man. More and more you will see that.
What?
More of the people that we are interacting, it's NPCs.
What's
that?
It's a non-player character.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My English is a bit crappy. Okay, sorry.
No, I think actually NPC comes from the gaming.
Yeah, it's the gaming. It's a non-playing character. Yeah, it's the ones that adorn the game. It's already it's part of the architecture.
I'm outside of. Well, I don't watch TV. I don't.
I think
no, we don't either.
Yeah, I think those people, those NPCs, they are there just to make us doubt,
distract you.
Yeah, and distract you, and spend your energy.
It's the woman. It's the woman in red.
Mm. Right. And sometimes it's the agent's mates also.
I like women, but I don't like red. So anyway, going back to David, what he was saying. I think my opinion about that is that we should do within the system, oppose the system within the system. I mean, if we want to change the system,
no way, you can never. The program is done that way. David is gone. Okay, but one thing is, I used to think that way as well. And 2020 for me was a wake up to a lot of the things, a lot of the reality of the illusion, if that makes any sense. But you cannot fight the system. They are the creators. It's all done. Yeah, it's all done to play out like that, and it's an illusion. All this protest, all this going against, it's an illusion. You're not going to change their stuff. That's their system. That's their own creation, their theater. If you want to play in their theater, you're going to have to play by their rules. You don't want to play by their rules, you create your own rules. It's very simple.
Well, let me tell you another thing. I don't know if you're aware of some things coming out. A few days ago, was approved in Portugal, and not in Portugal only, because this is a directive from the European Union. They are preparing themselves to control this kind of channels of.
Hang on a minute.
No.
Where are you from?
Sorry?
Which part of the planet are you from?
What that question is supposed to mean?
Where is your body at this point in time?
Oh, I'm in Portugal, where I live.
Oh,
Yeah, in
okay.
Portugal.
So you speak Portuguese or not?
You what?
You speak Portuguese?
Sim, claro que falo português.
Oh, okay, because we have no...
Pois, já não está cá mais... Então não há cá mais nenhum inglês,
inglês.
pode-se falar em português também.
Okay, bye-bye. Wait, let me just put this off the record then. Bye, guys. See you, and I see you when I see you.